Hello, and welcome to Tales of a Sex Store.
Da da da. I'm Billy.
I'm Hazel. Thank you for joining me, Billy.
Oh, it's an honor.
One thing I wanted to touch on really fast is the last time we were talking, brand new podcast, brand new show, first time as an audio editor. And we were talking about No Nut November, and I could not for the life of me think of it, but I was able to go back in post-production and make it seem like we knew what we were talking about. So what I was actually talking about was Locktober. My friend had gone from Locktober to No Nut November and remained caged through Locktober and then again through No Nut November.
Wow, that's a long time without an orgasm.
Well, okay, so with Locktober, there was some fiddly stuff. It was like no release, but not no release necessarily. And then No Nut November, and then there was like the party was what I was talking about, like big party, big like yay, exciting, and then No Nut November, and then huge party, right?
Yeah, it's the release party.
Exactly. The release party. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe you could have like tiers of achievement level. Like I paid
Yeah,
no attention whatsoever to I only
yeah,
through the cage
yeah.
or who knows, but whatever. It was
The
fun.
oxytocin just went through the roof.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that? American Pie? That scene where the orgasm like plasters the partner who's riding to the ceiling?
You know what? There's no such thing as a bad orgasm.
Right.
That's the truth. It's exactly how you feel.
Right. That's what you said.
Yeah.
I love that too. I love your stories. And
All
that's like
right.
literally why we're here, right?
So the other day, a guy came in the store and he
Mm.
said, I need a tampon. I'm like, I gotcha. So I went and got the last tampon we have. We give them away in the restroom, and evidently that's a pretty normal thing for a lot of businesses. But
Yeah.
it is a pretty considerate thing to do.
Yeah.
But what surprises me is because most of the time, you guy has to get a tampon, and all of a sudden they mentally freeze up, right? It's like
Yes.
because they don't know what to buy and they don't want to look at and somehow why is it a struggle for a guy to go buy tampons?
Right.
That should be like an essential life skill. What do you have? What do you need? How can I get it? How can I make your life better?
Totally.
And that goes back with the plan B that we give away too. It's like I'm seeing more guys come and get it for their partner, which is pretty good.
That is good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Trending up.
Trending up, yeah. With you know what it is, telling you, men need to realize this is in your interest. It
Absolutely.
doesn't have to be a battle. You don't have to feel uncomfortable about getting birth control. Or especially how many times do women say, oh, I have to provide the condom. How come he doesn't provide the condom?
Right.
Such a simple thing.
Yeah.
Such a simple thing. Just grab some condoms, have them around, give them to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are subscriptions where they will just get delivered to your door,
Right.
Speaking of condoms, the brand One,
Yeah.
they are the only FDA approved condom for anal,
Really?
for STI prevention. And they do a subscription and they have a unique sizing method. So you can at home measure yourself
Right.
and then enter those measurements and they give you a code for the appropriate size of custom fit condom. And those condoms then are basically they're designed for you. So if the average size of condom is too loose or too snug, you can go to the One condom website and get one that is appropriately fitted for you.
That's pretty nice because a lot of times I had 4 women in a couple days ago, and they were buying condoms, and they're like, "Is the Magnum bigger?" I'm like, "No, actually, it says Magnum, but they're not bigger." And we do produce a chart that shows the size, but I would say in general, women particularly and men are a little bit, like, in the weeds when it comes to buying condoms because it's not clear.
Right,
Size-wise, yeah, and it's like when it's a marketing ploy. "Oh, it's Magnum." It's like, well, how many guys are gonna say, I'd like to have the small one. I'm gonna get the Magnum."
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the issues that I had working in the shop with the kimono brand. It was that, like, ingrained racism that an Asian
It's
branded
smaller.
condom was going to be smaller, and I was like, "That's so fucked up."
Yeah,
Like,
that is fucked up.
they're the
And
same size as the Magnums, get over it.
right, right, and, if someone is buying one for somebody who's smaller, they need to know that it's like, you wanna look for the term "snug fit." 'Cause
Yes,
that's where how they what the code is, you know? You don't say, "Oh, condoms for small penises," right?
totally,
Yeah.
totally.
But I also think there's a whole pathology about size of penises that's just crazy.
Absolutely.
I mean, so many men they come into the store and they're in like, usually in their early 20s, right? And they're like, "Do you have, do you have pills that make me bigger?" "No." "Do you have creams that you put on to make me bigger?" "No." "Well, I saw it on the internet."
Oh, no.
"Okay. Oh, yeah. So it must be true." Uh, yes. And usually I tell them it's like, "You can use a pump to get you harder, and maybe it'll make you bigger, but you would have to use it a lot, and it would tend to break the capillaries, and you know what? You're young, you might not need it now, but down the road, you're gonna need those little capillaries to get you back into action, so."
Mhm.
And then the roll into women don't care.
Right,
Women don't care. Right, and this is heteronormal conversation, by the way, change pronouns however one prefers,
right.
and sex, right, so, and
And there's always
but
size queens in every dynamic, right? Like, there's gonna be somebody who's a size queen, but there's, by
yeah,
dynamic, I mean,
right.
gender and sexuality dynamic, not like
Some people
partnership.
like to run faster, some people like to jump higher, some people wanna take the biggest thing they could possibly can in their body.
Right,
Or s or see somebody else do that, yeah. But
exactly.
but yeah, but most of the time, women say side doesn't matter. In fact, one
Right,
woman said once, "Oh, the other one can be used differently," i.e., anal sex. It's more
right,
comfortable.
absolutely.
So she likes a smaller penis just for that.
I also know a lot of people who, like, 6 inches is literally their cutoff point. They are done. They like anything
Yeah,
over 6
yeah,
inches and they're like, 6.5, they're like, "Okay, maybe." 7 inches,
yeah,
they're like, "You need to wear a donut."
yeah.
I
That's
know
right.
I know several, many
Yeah, yeah,
people who are bottoms who have that opinion.
yeah.
So, like, the average of 6.5 is really like, that's good.
That's good. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Most men have the bare minimum, whatever that is.
Is there a minimum?
And is there a minimum? Well, I mean,
I think that depends on who you're with.
right. Well, I think there's a certain minimum. You want some, you wanna feel it, but by and large, you don't. I mean, have you seen any guys with a micro penis? I can't think of any.
Yes.
Okay. And did it affect them?
Psychologically,
Yeah,
but it didn't affect our time together at all. But also, I'm noetisexual, right? So I'm attracted to identity, and I
yeah,
have been with partners of many genders, and
yeah,
I work with the
yeah.
tools that are in front of me, you know? Like, it's
Well,
it's not a problem.
yeah. What I usually tell, men is, like, if she's throwing you out of the bedroom for the size of your penis, you got bigger problems in a relationship.
Mhm.
And a and women will just like the strap-ons, it's like, you have to have a choice. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So I was working the other day, and I had every day you have this really fun conversation. This woman came in and she was like, "T my husband died 2 years ago, and I'm finally getting back." So I pushed her towards a clitoral vibrator, and she says, "No, no, I want more." And she said, "Literally, he died 2 years ago today." So she stood there and she was just tearful. It
Yeah.
was just like, but but I said, "You know, your husband would be really proud of you. He wants you to be happy." And she looked at me and she said, "You know what he's doing? He's laughing his ass off." I thought, "That's pretty
That's
good."
good.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I know, I know. Or when couples come in and the guy's elderly and he buys say, a rabbit vibrator, an internal vibrator for him because he can no longer perform, and he wants to do that with his wife. Now
Right.
I find that fairly rare because I think there's a real insecurity about men and their erections. They take it really personally when they don't have one or they get whiskey dick, right? Yeah,
Right.
that bugs them. It bugs them a lot.
Yeah. There's just so much societal pressure and programming around performance.
Precisely, yeah, and I think that, like, men shame-based in sex is really, I mean, you got this dichotomy. On one hand, you have permission to have sex, and you have no consequences for poor sexuality. However, your sexuality has to be very prescribed, and it goes back to a lot of the men traits that you can't talk about premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction or different flavor of sex that you like.
Mm.
It's gotta be hypermasculine, heteronormative, and you only talk about your successes. You don't
Right.
talk about your failures,
It's very performative on a lot of levels.
right? And if you don't, you sublimate and you don't talk about it. That's why strokers and fleshlights are the most stolen item in the store.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's like they would rather steal something, right? Steal something than and get caught, right?
Right.
Than the shame of buying it. And it's just very much taught into a little box that men get put in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually chased a guy down the street once. He grabbed a flashlight and he ran out the back door, and I ran him down the alley, and I thought to myself, "Well, what happens when I catch him? What am I gonna do? Fight him over a flashlight?
Right.
No." And he jumped in his car. He jumped in his car because the car was ready to go in the alley, parked. So
Yeah.
he's driving down the alley in a Subaru, and I'm running after him, and he takes a right on the street, and he throws the flashlight out the window because I'm behind him, and I take a picture of him in his car.
Wow.
That could have been a story on the internet, right?
It is. Now.
It is a story on the internet, but I mean, I could have took a picture of his car and the flashlight and posted that,
Right. Right.
and that would have been a lot of yuck, yuck, ha, ha, isn't that funny?
Mhm.
But somebody would have identified him, right? And next thing you know, so and so stole the flashlight and threw it out the window. And a and that's why we're really hesitant to, like, prosecute people because I think the shame somebody would get on something like that, reputation-wise, is not worth whatever cost to the thing they stole.
Right. Right.
It's like, why would you, I mean, that could ruin somebody's life.
Absolutely. Yeah. It could become a complex or,
Yeah.
social ostracization.
Yeah. That said, I have prosecuted people for stealing, but not very often. But it's definitely a guy thing. I mean, I don't see women coming in and stealing vibrators, or if they do, they're pretty good at it.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe not with the frequency.
right.
Oh, so, segueing from that, we're talking about the Silly Willy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm really excited about it. It's a penis that shoots out silly string, and,
And it's your brainchild, right?
mine and my brother Robert, he's a donut
Yes.
shop guy. Him and I invented it, and it went through a lot of incarnations. You don't just simply come out of nowhere, no pun intended. Because originally we had this big vat of plastic that we would mold a penis, and then we would put the silly string in, and then we would get the tip of the silly string, and then we would burn a hole in the thing and tie some fishing line in and have it pull that way in this plastic penis molder that we did. Oh my god. And then we had to package it. It took a ton of work. And after a while we're like, "Oh, that is just not worth it." And it was primitive. So we just got this sleeve that fits over some silly string and you push it in and next thing you know, it explodes. So, it's been fun. Sometimes it jams, so I didn't really push it on a retail level,
Right,
to the wholesalers, but boy, the world needs more of it. It's just
right?
fun. It's fun. How many times do you see a penis that shoots off silly string?
Totally, and honestly, I mean, design-wise, sure, you could alter it so that it didn't jam so frequently, but also, the thing that I think is absolutely fantastic is that every package that you sell or hand out, for bachelorette parties or whatever, you included a pipe cleaner, and you said it was a catheter.
Yeah, I know. I know. I love going to the smoke shop and saying, "Can I get a penis catheter, please?"
Right.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, but eventually they understood the joke, so, yeah. But usually it's guys and they're pretty taciturn, but we'll get there. It's only a matter of time. Y I also, like, give advice to women when I give it to them because it's generally women and it's for parties and New Year's and bachelorette parties primarily. I warn them to say, "Hey, don't shoot guys. Don't do it." I mean, because unless a guy's very comfortable with sexuality, however that looks, what's he say when a nice, attractive woman shoots him with a penis silly string? How do you respond?
It's probably not super great.
No. What if they're drunk and homophobic?
Then it's real bad.
Even more. Yeah, then they get a little bit of a crisis, and then then they hit on you to say, "Hey, I'm straight. Let me prove it to you,"
Oh my
which,
gosh.
that's particularly endearing. So what
Yeah,
I'm saying is that they very much take it as humiliation, and it's like, well, I don't want it to be humiliating somebody. I want people to scream because it's very empowering to shoot off a penis silly string.
I wanna play the game where you get a lineup of your girlfriends, and
Yeah.
one line has the silly willies, and then another line has shot glasses in their mouths, and whoever fills up the shot glass first wins
Oh, that's
with your
funny.
partner.
There there was a, porno night at the university back when they had porno night, and it was only once a year at Montana State University, and they were closing down an old theater, and when they were doing it, they said, "We can use some silly willies for it." So, there's probably 75 people watching this porno at MSU in this theater, and at the first orgasm on the screen, everybody shot off their penis silly strings.
Oh my gosh. So it's like porno Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Precisely. Yes, yes.
That's
No,
fantastic.
you can see everybody with this screamed, It's like, how many times does everybody simultaneously orgasm?
Only in the movies.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing too, is when you're giving out the vibrators for, America Comes Together, well, I think we
Yeah,
organized the first nationwide national simultaneous orgasm.
right, the Great American Orgasm.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day.
Is that gonna come back? Are you
Uh-huh.
gonna do that again?
I don't know, it cost me a lot of money, and I didn't get anything out of it. I didn't see really how it grew, but boy, was it
Right.
fun. Boy, was that fun.
Well, maybe
We'll
as
talk
we
a
become like, an online presence, maybe someone
Yeah,
will express interest.
we'll see more of it, yeah. It was pretty fun to do, though, yeah, it was really fun. We'll talk about that on another episode, The Great American Orgasm.
Totally.
Yeah, this was I think it was primarily a COVID/election thing, but it was also, like,
Right.
it was a time during COVID where everybody was stuck at home and I was stuck at home and I was like, God, I just want to do something nice. I'm so used to giving out vibrators. Why don't I give them away? But anyway, we'll talk about that at another time. It's worth it, I think.
Getting into the whole story.
America comes together.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, even just from that little bit, that's really beautiful story, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, especially because it's like those little vibrators that we give away cost less than $3. Can you think of anything? We give out thousands of vibrators. Thousands and 20 I've given away 22,000. um I had an orgasm in Bozeman, Montana vibrators.
Total?
So far, that's not even including all the other ones. But that's a story for another day too, is,
Okay.
us giving away vibrators at different events.
Oh my gosh, so many stories for other days.
So many stories for other days. Yeah.
So with the Silly Willy then, um, this is going to be available through the website soon, right?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. And do you know what it's gonna cost?
It's
Or
gonna be, $20 with shipping included, and you get your own penis that shoots out silly string.
and to be clear, the sleeve is reusable and you can just get your standard silly string can.
Yeah, and you can buy some more cans too if you want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I usually tell people, "Okay, wait till don't do it immediately because somebody's gonna be turned off. Wait till people are 2 drinks into the party and then give it to the person," and that might be you,
Right?
but you know the person when you're talking about, and have the video camera ready because and I would love to see people putting some pictures of that happening at their party because it's usually pretty fun. Again, though I don't want people to humiliate other people because I think that's exactly the wrong thing.
Totally.
I just want shouts of joy, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, pro tip,
yeah.
do not let it get stuck in popcorn ceiling. It is impossible to get out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we have silly willies in our yeah, our ceiling, yeah, it's probably not the most responsible, you know,
But it was a blast.
but it's a blast.
Literally.
Literally, yeah, silly willy.
All right. Well, I think that we have covered some great ground today. I'm excited to be building momentum in this podcast world with you, Billy. And I think that's our time for today. And I really appreciate you coming and and spending time with me.
Oh, it's always an honor, you're so such a joy.
You too.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, have a nice day.
You as well. So again, this is Tales of a Sex Store. I'm Hazel, and my co-host is Billy McWilliams.
Happy orgasms.
Happy orgasms.
If you're looking for a gift for the guy with everything, what could be better than a big old member that shoots off silly string? Without this precious guy gift, we'd live in anarchy. So do yourself a favor and buy a Silly Willy. Silly Willy is so cool, Silly Willy is so great. You can have a good time shooting it at people that you hate. It's a party in a penis.